Good morning, good evening, good afternoon on this bright and breezy here in Scotland Monday. It's Monday morning here and I just want to say welcome to this episode. This is Catherine Gallagher, this is me, and this is an episode that I will be adhering to speakers' terms and conditions. There will be no music played here. You'll be saying, Catherine, why do you keep saying that? Well, if you've been listening to my previous episodes, you'll know that some of the episodes were deleted. We've now found out that some of the episodes hadn't, for somehow, picked up audio. I don't know what was going on. Gremlins. You know, sometimes we say that, don't we? It must be the gremlins. There's something happened here. Anyhow, whatsoever, it was down as a message to me that it had been reported. I don't know why. It has been reported there's been music played here, and then it turns out there's been no audio. It's baffling and it's gremlins. But anyway, not to worry. I'm still, saying that I am complying with speakers' terms and conditions. There's no music. I would love to play music, but that's another story. I'm staying on track. You know, sometimes you talk and then suddenly you go off at a tangent. So anyhow, Monday morning, pressure or no pressure, under pressure. Under pressure, are you feeling pressure, stress, strain? Or is it an easy breezy day? Now, I'm actually not working today. Well, okay, I am because I'm doing a podcast, right? But I've set some time aside. Not because it's Mental Health Awareness Week. It's actually because, if you're listening to my episode, you'll hear me say that I like to be mindfully aware of my own internal compass. I like to make sure that where possible, I'm taking good care of my own health, and my health is wealth, wealth is health, right? And I think it's really important that we do take care of where our health is at. And, you know, there's been a lot of work that I've been doing to do with global mental health trainings, which I love doing. I love talking and presenting and speaking and podcasting. But sometimes, because I work all hours, sometimes I like to hit the pause button and I like to take a bit of time out. And that's what I'm doing today. So I'm going to do some podcasts and then I'm going to take a wee bit, it's a really Scottish term, a wee bit of time. And I'm going to be doing some things that are me things, if you like. And then I've got some things ahead of me to look forward to. So that's a bit about me. I'm wondering what your day's like. Pressure and strain, tension. We need a certain level of pressure. People will come to me and they'll talk about anxiety and they'll talk about stress. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. We need a certain level of stress. E-stress, good stress. Stress is something that gives us a sense of what? Gives us a sense of what to do. Gives us a sense of purpose. If you don't have stress and tension and pressure, it doesn't create that focus, being on point, the adrenaline. Cortisol's released with stress, isn't it? So we need that to get us up and get us going. Otherwise, we just would be lying around and doing nothing. And sometimes people say, that's quite nice. It is. But if we just languished and did nothing, nothing would happen. We need to flourish and thrive. We need to be able to not just feel we're constantly striving. If your life feels as if that's what you're doing, something has to change. Something has to change. Stress, when it becomes too much, is unbearable. Not only that, it can affect our physical health, our blood pressure. It turns within us, doesn't it? And we have to be aware of that and mindfully aware of that. And I am more than ever because of my background in nursing. I'm very much aware of the physical impacts that stress and strain that actually is over the level of potential, that level that allows us to be working at our best. Are you aware when stress gets to that level where it's too much? Where you're not thinking clearly, where you feel overwhelmed, where you're maybe not able to regulate your emotions. Maybe you feel tearful, you get irritable, angry. You maybe lash out at people, hopefully not physically, but if you're doing that, that's a real sense that everything is way too much. Where you maybe put off, constantly ignoring, avoiding, procrastinating. Do you overthink? Are you paralysed, unable to do anything? Do you feel like a deer in headlights? People sometimes will describe to me that the anxiety is overbearing. They might have palpitations, they might have tachycardia, they might heartbeats faster and faster and faster. Their breath, they can't control properly. When stress gets to a point where it's working against us, most important thing we can learn to do is to start regulating and taking back control. How do we do that? How do you do that? I ask people, what works? What's worked in the past? If we go back to what we know, we're more likely to see that sense. Immediately, we breathe slowly and deeply. When we regulate our breath, oxygen gets through our body. We calm and slow everything down and kick in the parasympathetic nervous system. We're regulating things, slowing everything down. Breathing slowly helps to slow our heart rate, helps to calm everything down, helps us to be able to see and think more clearly because oxygen is circulating to our heart, to our brain. People say to me, I didn't see it coming. I didn't realise what was going on. What we think affects how we feel. Our internal dialogue is telling us things, signalling to us. We're saying things to ourselves when we're stressed. We ain't telling ourselves everything's fine, right? When I say to people, how do you think you're talking to yourself? And they go, I don't know, what do you mean? They look at me as if to say, that's the bizarrest question. Well, if you're stressed and under pressure and feeling overwhelmed, what kind of conversation is going on there? And they go, I'm doubting myself. There's panic in conversations. I'm talking about things that aren't working. I'm catastrophizing, I'm overthinking, all these unhelpful thinking processes. Go back to the episode that I've talked about unhelpful thinking. The automatic thoughts that pop into our head What was I thinking? This isn't going to work. Here we go again. I can't believe I'm back to this again. Here it is. Oh my goodness. Before I know it, it's going to be like this. What am I going to do? The panicking, the pressure, the stress, the avoidance. What's the most important thing you can do? That's it. It's just, you said, Catherine, it's breathe, isn't it? Take a slow, deep breath. You see, if we're mindful and aware of our triggers, if we know that there's potential situations that are likely to trigger us, if we're taking a breath in and we're saying words that counter those triggers, take a breath, breathe, this will pass, you've got this, cool, whatever works for you. I say, breathe, Catherine. That's what I say. Breathe. Obviously, you're not going to say Catherine unless your name's Catherine. Right? Breathe. This will pass. Right? When you start talking to yourself in a way where you're actually giving yourself that compassion, that confidence, you have to be believing in yourself, supporting yourself. And one of the most important things you can do is to write down what the problem is. Get it out. Or talk to someone. Hey, just thought I'd give you a call. This is happening. Remember I was talking to you about this? Or, listen, I know I haven't spoke to you about this, but this has come up. Can I just talk to you for a couple of minutes about it? Because I just need to get my head around it. I'm not asking you to solve it. It's just to talk it over with you. I want you to be a listening ear. Right, okay. Got a couple of minutes just now, or I can give you a call back in 10 minutes, Catherine. Great, okay. That would be helpful. In the meantime, if I can't speak to you right now because I understand you're busy, I'll distract myself. That's the second thing. If you can't deal with it right now, it's a time and a place, and right now is not the best time to deal with it, park it. Park it. I'll come back to it. I'll deal with it in the right way, the best way. It's the right time, the right place. I'm parking it, and I'll come back at this time or this day. And make sure you do, because otherwise it's going to revisit you when you least expect it. Take back control. And remember to still be breathing slowly and deeply right into your tummy, right into your belly. So you're taking slow, deep breaths through your nose and out through your mouth. So you're regulating and calming everything down. And a good thing to do is to write down what the problem is. So you put a big circle and you write in the circle what the problem is, whatever it is. And then you write, how am I thinking about it? How do I feel about it? And then how do I want to think about it? How do I want to feel about it? And then from where I am to where I want to be, what needs to happen? And if you're writing, I don't know, then you need to say, yes, I do. What's the first step that I need to take? Because we default to that often. I don't know, but we do. We know what we need to do. We're just avoiding. We're not dealing with it. We're avoiding the pain. But actually, it's worse being stuck. Uncertainty, not knowing, being stuck is the worst. Taking back control, de-escalating, managing the stress and the strain to a manageable, reasonable level, talking it out. And the first thing is talking it out. The first thing is managing your internal dialogue. The first thing might be, okay, getting a plan in action. I'm already there, I'm doing that. What next? So you either phone a friend, you write down a plan, you decide what actions you need to take. So you start getting back in control. And you declutter your internal short-term memory so you can actually think clearly. Think clearly. And if you can't deal with it here and now, right now, you go off and do something else. Because while you're doing something else, your brain is figuring it out. Your brain is doing what it's meant to be doing. You're off doing other things. There's less pressure and strain on trying to problem solve it. Your brain is doing what it needs to do. And then you come back to it when you've set the time to come back to it. You talk to someone that you trust that isn't going to say, I don't know what to do about that either. That's not a helpful person to talk to when it comes to that problem. Find someone that's going to be calm and level-headed. It's going to say, okay, what do you think needs to happen? What do you want to happen? What do you think though is the best thing that needs to happen? Remember the wants and the needs if you're listening to the episodes. I'd like this, I'd want that, but actually this I need to have happen. And how do I get there? What's the ideal journey to get there? It might be very simple steps and you're avoiding doing it. It might be something that you haven't thought about or something you just need to put in place because this has just happened. Take action. No amount of wishful thinking. This is so unfair. I can't believe this has happened to me. This stress I could do without. That's a human thing, isn't it? Why me? When people say that, it's like, why not? These things happen to everybody. Right? Sometimes why me is just a process, but it doesn't get us anywhere. Because it happens to everybody. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's happened, it's here, let's deal with it. And you don't have to deal with it alone. And if you're in an employment situation, your employer might have an EAP, an Employee Assistance Programme that you could call and get support. If your family, friends, a neighbour, a trusted person, you can speak and get support from them. There are lots of services that are 24-hour free services you can contact. You can go to a coach, a life coach. You can go to a therapist. There are lots of supports out there if you can't do it alone. And not everybody wants to do it alone. And if you don't, you shouldn't have to. It's being able to have that confidence to be able to believe in yourself that you deserve the best. Self-respect. Respect yourself enough to know that you deserve to be able to overcome what's happening. Trust and believe in yourself. Take back control. And remember, no matter what it is, it will pass. Everything will pass. We come to terms, we live with, we learn to adjust to, because that's life. And a lot of the times we're catastrophising, we're overthinking. We just need to diffuse. Set down the tone and move on and move forward. Pressure. Pressure can be really helpful and healthy and necessary, but when it becomes too much, it's counterproductive. We don't do and perform at our best. We don't deliver our best. We don't think at our best. We don't problem solve. We're not presenting our best. Whenever I'm putting myself forward for things, I know I have to be in the best frame of mind to be able to be at my best, deliver my best. I know that if I have those nervous, anxious, stress levels there, I can turn them in my mindset to, this is excitement, this is a bit of pressure, this is okay, I'm going to be delivering my best here. I don't go, my goodness, this is anxiety, this is stress, this is terrible. because I'm talking myself out of delivering my best. I breathe. I work on my mindset. Put my best foot forward. And you can too. Now, understanding stress and strain and the difference between that and having some level of stress and pressure, which is at a 5 as opposed to a 1 or 2, where it's giving you stress and strain and pressure. If you're like a 4 or a 5 and it's unmanageable, if you plan out what to do and how to keep things at a level of 1, 2 or 3 in your life of stress, and it might be that you run, it might be that you do Pilates, it might be that you are mindfulness and meditation, it might be that you make sure that you're doing all of these. And you're also always doing hydration, you're keeping yourself well hydrated, you're eating healthily, that you're exercising in ways, that manage, whether it's walking or being out in nature, whether it's making sure that you have good, healthy, connected relationships. It's all about balance and wellness. And having everything in a good connection, interconnectedness. And I'm all about having fun. You probably tell from my episodes, I always think it's about making sure that you're doing things that allow you to feel that you can have laughter and fun and enjoyment and playfulness. Enjoy life with the people you love the most. And remember, stress is not a bad thing unless it's overwhelming. Then we need to work in it to make sure it's not negatively impacting on our health. Give yourself a hobby or an interest. Learn something that allows you to channel the stress, channel strain into something constructive. Have outlets that allow you to manage pressure better. If you have stress that's overbearing and you're not sure what to do, learn how to do it. And remember, the skills you're learning aren't just for now, they're actually forever. They're lifestyle skills to implement. When people come to me and they tell me that they've been to do courses or they've been in counselling or coaching before, and I'll say, what have you learned so far? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, and are you still implementing them? And then they look at me. And I know they haven't looked at what they've done in the past. I'll say, why not? Was it not working? Was it not for you? Well, it worked then. So if it worked then, would it not be working now? We look for short term. We look for easy. We look for sticky plasters. But as human beings, we deserve the best. We deserve to actually invest in ourselves, self-investment. And for good health, health is wealth, for good health, mental health, we need to see it as a long-term, day-to-day investment. And to keep your resilience and your health and your mental health in a good place, it needs to be day-to-day. You need to be doing these things on a regular basis. And when you get the tools that work, have a toolkit, a toolbox that you can delve into, and you can up-tune them. So if you're doing one thing and you think, that's not working as well, you've got other things available. That's what I do. I'm not always doing the same thing. I'm doing other things because I know sometimes I get a bit complacent and I think, do you know what? I maybe need to do something else. I'll go back to that. I have reminders all the time that come in and say, remember this, remember that, remind constantly. And even if I wasn't doing this as a job, I'd still be living and breathing it because it's like brushing my teeth. I do it and I fit it in, not as something that is like a chore. It's something that I have invested in doing, and it becomes just what I do. And this is why I do podcasting, because I want to put the message out there that investing in your mental health is like, okay, maybe not brushing your teeth, but it's just like doing anything else that's about investing in you, in your health. So it could be like brushing your teeth, combing your hair, washing every day. So the things and the toolkits that you do would be things you're investing in you every day. They're day-to-day things. It helps you to keep your level of tolerance and resilience up at such a point that when you get life's adversities, life's challenges, you bounce back from them much quicker. And the stress and strain, you manage that tension and pressure much better. And you bounce back from them. Isn't that not what we look for? That's a gift. Here's a gift, right? Take the gift and learn from it. Implement it. Who doesn't want to have resilience in their life? Have a wonderful Monday. Take good care. And be resilient. All the best, and I'll speak to you again. Until next time. And remember to keep the suggestions through to me about what you'd like to talk about. And if you're interested in coming along to any of my talks, if you want to have more talks on investment in you, anything that you would like me to share ideas on, if you want to come on and talk to me live, then why not let me know and we can set that up. As usual, you can DM me, you can message me, email me at stepupcmg@xln.co.uk. I'm on Twitter and I'm also on Instagram. Let's talk soon. This is Catherine Gallagher. Bye for now.